Today we are going to be talking about the Tylenol poisonings. In the early morning of September 29, 1982, Mary Kellerman, a 12-year-old girl, woke up with the normal cold, like sore throat, a little bit of a headache, runny nose. So her father, Dennis Kellerman, just gave her a bit of Tylenol, thinking everything was going to be fine. Not too much later, Mary was in the bathroom. All of a sudden, there was this big dropping sound. So Dennis yelled up, and to his horror, he heard nothing back. So he ran up the stairs, still nothing. He found his daughter lying on the floor, unconscious. Mary was pronounced dead upon arrival to the hospital. Her cause of death was deemed to be unknown. A few hours later, in the suburbs of Chicago, Adam Janus called in sick to work, so he took some extra-strength Tylenol, also thinking nothing of it, and almost instantly Adam crashed to the ground. Like Mary, seeming to be unconscious, paramedics deemed it to be a heart attack. Adam's relatives rushed into the ER, and they also took some Tylenol. Moments later, they also had the same fate as Adam. Other victims of this were Mary McFarland, who was 35 years old, Paula Prince, 35 years old, and Mary Weiner, who was 27 years old. This is a little bit off topic, but I had to watch 2 separate videos on how to pronounce that because I didn't want to be rude and mispronounce her last name because there's like Weiner, there's Winner, I have a friend, her last name is one of those. Anyways, a total number of 7 people died on the 29th and 30th of September, all of them seeming to be in good health, and then just after taking that extra strength Tylenol, collapsed to the ground and died. One flight attendant that was a victim of this was found with Tylenol on her dresser, just an open bottle. She didn't even get to close the cap all the way. Investigators realized that all the deaths were around Chicago. Both investigators and toxicologists determined that Tylenol was the cause of death. How could it have been the Tylenol? It's actually supposed to help you stop headaches, stop colds, stop toothaches, muscle aches, stuff like that. So how could it possibly have killed someone? The Tylenol was found to have contained potassium cyanide, which is usually used for electroplating, fumigation, and taking silver and gold out of the ore. It was determined that the cyanide didn't get in there from the actual company because all of the different Tylenols came from different companies. The company, Johnson & Johnson, had to recall Tylenol and made an announcement advertising not to take any medicine with acetaminophen. Acetaminophen? That is the overall name of the products like ibuprofen, Tylenol, stuff like that. They had to recall over 31 million bottles. 31 million bottles of Tylenol. To this day, the culprit has never actually been found. This case is about 44 years old now, and this case will still be a mystery and never actually be solved, which is kind of sad. The families affected by this will never actually get to get closure on who did this to their family. It's kind of sad. Not kind of sad, it's really sad. The main suspect was James Lewis. He wrote a letter to the company demanding $1 million and he would stop the killings. After a while of trying to confirm it was actually James, investigators decided that James was not guilty since he lived in New York and couldn't be connected to the news apart from that letter. James was kept a close eye on by law enforcement for 40 years after the crime, but he died on July 10th of 2023. He was 76 years old. James' death was deemed not suspicious. He died of pulmonary embolism, which is where the blockage of the vein that goes to your lungs has a blockage, like a blood clot, and so he died. Another suspect was Roger Arnold. The bar owner that he usually went to heard him talking about how he was killing people with this white powdery substance. The police actually found potassium cyanide in his possession, but he also was pretty erratic and had pretty irregular behavior because his marriage was dissolving and not going so hot. He killed someone 2 years later. I think he served 15 years and then he died. 5 weeks after the 7 deaths, Johnson & Johnson made their packaging to be tamper-proof. In 1983, the Federal Anti-Tampering Act was passed, making it a federal offense to tamper with over-the-counter drug products. To this day, the crime was never actually solved. That's so sad. All these people died and they never even got to catch, the murderer. But I think the most interesting murders, not in a rude way, but the most, interesting murders are the ones that haven't actually been solved. Kind of like missing 411 cases. I'll make a whole nother video on that. Those are really interesting, actually. Anyways, That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.